Hello, it's Greg Allison from Green Greg's coming to you outside my wood hinge project. On the 14th of November 21, time on deck is 5300 hours Central Standard Time. And we're going to talk about the game. The game. And I got to tell you what the game is. You're the game and you're being played. You're being played by society. They got it set up for you. What they're trying to do is set everything up to set up a new world. They call it a reset, but it's not really so great in my humble opinion. A world where you'll own nothing, have no privacy, and enjoy it. You'll enjoy it because you're going to be taking their pills or whatever, sonomas, whatever they call it, you know, that's talked about in the Brave New World. They will have you thinking you're happy, and maybe you're not. You know, there was a lady did had a vision she shared with Rex Bear on his channel, said in the year 2060 the people in the country would still be happy and kids playing, but in the city everybody was just like this. Nobody was happy, weren't talking, no kids. You know, the agenda. If you don't know what's coming, you have to look at two things: trends and agendas. The good news is that agendas often do not they often don't reach their goals, especially when they want to. Now, they already wanted to have all this stuff in place, and they failed at it, but they're really launching and trying hard now. You know what I mean? So, what we got to watch is what we do to preserve ourselves, our families, our freedoms. You know, in case you don't know, the Biden administration has a plan to rewild farmland. 30% by 2030 and 50% by 2050. How are we supposed to eat? Well, they got a plan for that too. Less people. You know, look at all the elites that talk about controlling population. What do they talk about mostly? Population, population. Bill Gates, he's big on it. Ted Turner, big on it. Oprah Winfrey, big on it. Henry Kissinger, big on it. These guys want to cut down the population. Henry Kissinger said those that control the food control the people. Control the oil, control the nations, control the food, you control the people. Who's buying the farmland? Our buddy Billy, he wouldn't be doing none of that now, would he? Nah. So, you know, he had his talk, TED talk, where he talked about, you know, we got to get CO2 down. We got to eliminate CO2. We got to eliminate CO2. We got it down. We got to get down to zero, essentially zero human input. And he put an equation on the board, and really the only way you could do that was getting rid of people. So. And of course he said, we can, if we really work on certain things that they do this to you with, then we can get there. And he talked like through health, we'll have less people. Well, that might be a little true in the long run, but is that the real agenda? What happened with that exercise 201? And what come right after that? I don't know, guys. Don't know, you tell me. It's a question. It's a question. What do you think? But plant food in the atmosphere is supposed to be the end of the world. It's supposed to bring about the end of the world, and just within the decade now they're telling us that we won't survive, we'll all die off, and we got to do major things immediately, and they got young kids scared to death and reacting to it. CO2 has gone up to about 400 parts per million. It has in the past been 1,200 parts per million. You know, plants are optimized for 1,200 parts per million, by the way. And it has been 2,400 parts per million. And Earth's been on a cooling spree for the last 65 million years. See my video, Snowball Earth. And in fact, I mentioned in the previous video, during the era of the Vikings, there were vines, big grapevines, all over North America. They were in the area of Nova Scotia. See, this is a little grapevine here. And you can see more out in the woods, back around there. I showed you some big ones a little bit ago. Those were as far north as Nova Scotia, Massachusetts. So much so they called this area Vinland. And you know, some people disputed it, but they have found the grapes, seeds, and things in the campfires and areas where they camped. So now they know for a fact they were eating that stuff. So it's not just a legend. They were, when they called it Vinland, they meant it. unlike Greenland. They found the coldest place in the world and called it Greenland. So I can see people were doubting it. Because, you know, Greenland was, you know, well, it was Greenland on the southern tip, because Iceland's greener than Greenland, right? See, Iceland, but over here's Greenland. So, but over here's Finland. So if you're trying to do realty and development, you know, that's a good marketing for you, right? But no, they actually found the remnants of the grapes they were eating in their camps where they camped. So, okay, that said, we look back at the late medieval period where the Vikings bloomed, and they were in a warm period. It was a late medieval warm period. It was much warmer then than it is today. Yet, the heat we got today is the end of the world. That's what we're told. We're told the CO2 we put in the atmosphere today will be absolutely the end of the world. Okay. So they're playing us to control that. This isn't so much about the CO2, it's about the control games. Here, these little mushrooms down here. It's about the control games. Got some leaves on it. Control games that you are being played. You've been taken advantage of. Oh yeah, I believe I mentioned, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe, bang the update notification bell, and click all. And be sure to check out my Patriot Supply. Go to my link to it. Go to prepwithgreg.com. If you go to prepwithgreg.com, you can get $200 off, no, you can get $100 off a 1 month supply. You can get $100 off a 1 month supply of food that lasts you 25 years. And that's good stuff. So check it out, My Patriot Supply. That's an investment, guys. With the food inflation coming up, that's an investment. There's another vine. Finland. We're going to go into another area of big vines here in a minute. So, how are they playing you? Well, what's coming next? You know, they've got everybody, what they've done is they're purging everybody that's not compliant. So it's obvious they want a very compliant society that will follow whatever they tell them to do. And if you're not part of that compliance, they're purging you. Your careers are at risk, not just your jobs, your careers, your life. Is that fair? What do you think? And some of you have taken the jab because you had to save your job, but it's going to be stepped up, guys. There's going to be something next. That's what you need to know. There's going to be a next level, a next step, another thing to, you know, see, they've got people already take stuff in them that genetically modifies them. They like this idea of transhumanism. And transhumanism, you know, if you're putting devices in you to enhance yourself, it might have some advantages. But where are they really driving this? And who's driving? That's what you got to ask. It's not so much the technology, it's who's behind it. And where will it take you? What are they trying to do with it? That's the scary thing about it. So pay attention, my friends. You know, the last shoe hasn't dropped. They want total control over you. You know, I'll be doing some more videos about the Hive. So what they're trying to do is get into your mind. There's a whole thing now about the metaverse or whatever it is now that Facebook is changing the name to Meta. So it's going to be like a blended virtual reality universe they're going to try to get you into. If you think Facebook controls your post today, what happens when they're controlling you a lot more intimately? Your whole experience in the world. You want to let Zuckerberg control everything in your life? That's a good question, guys. Now we're in Finland, guys. Finland, next to the kingdom of the walnut. Look at all these vines hanging. Vines everywhere, guys. Well, this is what the Vikings found. Way up north. Way up north. Vines. Big vines. Grapes. Plenty of grapes. They were eating them. They were loving them. And they left the proof of it in their old camps. So there you go, guys. We're being played. You're being played. We're all being played by this system. So what we got to do is we got to stand up for ourselves. We've got to stand up for what we believe in. We need to form groups, organize. I've started the Freedom Restoration Foundation for that reason. Check out freedomrestorationfoundation.org. Now my secretary, Leanne, should be, we'll be working to send out a welcome letter to everyone, get you more involved in it, but send us an email to info@freedomrestorationfoundation.org. We're trying to not just preserve our freedoms, but restore our freedoms. And we got members all over the United States. But it's not really so much a board members. We're not really yet a paid membership organization. But we do have we're on Facebook. We got a Facebook group. We're on MeWe. You can check those out. You can join other groups of similar ilk. Still working to set up the survival tribes. We got some areas, tribe leads picked. Now we just got to match up people to them. We need a few more tribe leads. But we're behind checking all these things out. Mostly we need volunteers. I need somebody to help me with the website. Because I don't have time to do everything, guys. But that's what it boils down to. They're playing us. They're going to play us some more. There'll be another shoe to drop. It's not just going to be this bug. It's going to be something else. As they launch us into the metaverse and try to get us more and more to modify ourselves, change who you are to become who they want you to be. Is that something with which you agree? I'll tell you, it don't appeal to me. But in time, we will see, right? So just bear that in mind. That's where it's going. This is just a baby step in that direction. Yeah. Think about the mark of the beast. It may be a bigger mark, a more powerful mark than you can imagine. Maybe a whole lot more to that than just a mark. You know, maybe John that saw it couldn't describe everything he saw. It was beyond words of a person living back 2,000 years ago. They didn't know what an internet was. Virtual reality had no concept for that kind of stuff. So, watch out. Keep your eyes wide open and head on a swivel, like I always tell you. So, just watch out. I'll do more on this later. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, bang the update notification bell, and click all. And check out my links below to True Leaf Market for your seeds, because you need to grow your own food. That's a step in independence. We got to stay independent. And be sure to check out prepwithgreg.com for the specials there. So, it's an investment right in here. Thank y'all for watching.